people are scared of change. They don't like change. You know what I mean? So they have a fear of rejection. They have a fear of failure.
I don't chase perfection. We chase progression.
Mm-hmm. They set these lines, with Major League Baseball, the NBA, college football. It's like they're all on a mathematical system, on a pattern, algorithm,
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Yo. Welcome to the Savage Mountain Podcast. I'm your host, Quan Mickel. Today, we got a solid show, but I got my guest with me, Drake Drizzy, but also I have my co-host with me, Bad Batch.
Hello, beautiful people.
My man, this show is brought to you by Neo Life Physical Therapy and Wellness, Neo Fit, led by yours truly, but also Neo Golf, and I stand firm. Some weirdos on the other side of the moon, man. It's them, man. Yeah, but as I said beforehand, we got Drake Lamey with us today. This is a lifelong friend of mine. Man, blood is one way we can describe it. It's not artificial. It's just authentic. It's real. It's genuine. It's kind of people where you don't have to see all the time, but when you see them, you just hit the ground running. It's just good people right here. So, Drake, like I said a lot of time on the show, man. Like, I know the most of the people that we bring on, but they don't know you. So, could you give us a solid introduction on who you are, what you are, how you come to be, what it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your origin story.
Yeah, let me kick it off for us.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like Quan said, this camera right here, Q? This one straight in? Okay, this is me right here. Yeah, like you said, lifelong friend here. People ask the question all the time, what drives you? I would have to say competition.
Ooh.
For one, that would be good. Family, and goals. I think being at the age that we are now, coming up, it's hard out here for young men. So you gotta stay focused. You have to learn from your mistakes, and but yeah, competition drives me. To it's like Denny. My dad, my father, he used to always preach to us. You only get one life. You only get one shot at it. So why not be the best at everything you're involved with in life? So, but yeah, born and raised here. Grew up with Quan over there in Cedar Grove. It kind of molded us. It was a tough neighborhood back then. But I would say that throughout the years, me and Quan, we've remained solid. Our friendship, we never really had any type of falling outs or anything like that. Sometimes life, takes us in a different way. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, but I think that I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. Yes,
my man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a little intro for us.
Nice.
So what you and what competition, man? This guy, he's a competitive guy. Now, there's many ways that we can go about like starting this journey on learning about who Drake Anthony Lamey is. We could go about his love for sports.
Okay.
We could talk about his love for trying to just be a beacon of positivity, and that is like securing like that degree that you wanted so badly for, man.
Yes.
So like you go from, let's say, like nomad territory where he just a rolling stone to now we're gonna jump to you being the adult that you are, and that you got a lot of responsibility that being at Ingalls. So how did one go about navigating those waters and conquering that land that you are, with being in a position that you got?
Yeah, I think for me, like within my family, like the Lameys, there's a lot of men in our family that they are successful. You know, they were able, whether it's the Lamey brothers trucking, you know, with the dirt business. My father, he builds houses for a living. My grandpa, he's you know, he has an elevator company. My uncle Rodney, you know, he's the VOTEC teacher, you know, pipe welding instructor at Mississippi. So all the men in my family, they've all successful. They've all kind of found their niche in life, and growing up, being involved with different things, you know. With you know, grandpa on the cattle farm, you know, dad building the houses, growing up with all these different things, it took me a second to kind of find my niche, you know, to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. I still to this day feel like I miss my calling in a way, you know. I mean, you know, I always wanted to be a coach, you know. You knew that was my thing, you know. I feel like that was my calling, but
it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late, you know. But I think a lot of things that happens to young people is you know, they want a nice vehicle, they want a nice truck, they want nice things, they end up having kids, so they kind of, you know, they get involved with a job, then they accumulate these bills, they accumulate debt, you know what I mean? They get stuck in a position where they are, so they're not able to continue to chase after their goals or their dreams or what they really truly want to do. And for me, I think eventually I found my niche, basically, and I found something I was interested in, and I pursued it. And I did obtain the bachelor's degree. Yeah, it was not easy to get. You know, it was. I mean, anything that's valuable, that's worth having in life, isn't easy to get. You know, it's not easy to achieve. But so yeah, I accomplished a degree, and
where did you go to school?
Columbia Southern. It's an online institute, but the degree that I have it's in occupational safety and health. It's a unique degree. There's within a 1,000-mile radius of Biloxi, there's only a handful of universities that offer that specific degree. So, but yeah, I made it happen, and I got big plans. I kind of have like not a master's degree, but I have like a master, kind of like a substitute. But I won't get into all that. Yeah. But yeah, I do have a plan to kind of advance the education. What's the right word for it? A plan to advance the
curriculum.
I was literally thinking curriculum. Yes. No, just to kind of the upper to take the next step in that field. Yeah. That field. So
yeah. You say the appropriate progression. That what it sounds like.
Yeah, the appropriate progression. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but as you, again, like what you doing that, you got to have a day to day. So, like being at, like obtaining that degree, and so one thing is to obtain a degree, and that's one thing that our generation has, like, that's why there's been such pushback against going the traditional route, that is graduate high school, go to college, because you can get a degree, but that don't necessarily mean that you get a job. And you've been lucky and blessed to not just get that degree, that hard-earned degree, but also you got a lucrative or very, like, I guess, high prestige level job. Yes. So what does that, like, all of the details in that, in your field or whatnot?
So I think being in the role that being at Ingalls, I kind of have that's where I'm at. I'm at the shipyard, Ingalls and Pascagoula. I have a unique role there. So basically, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about explaining it.
Speak your heart, man.
I'm involved with everything directly out there at the ship. I'm involved with each craft, with the crane and rigging, with the scaffold inspections, the confined space, going inside of these tanks. And you have to lead by example. You know what I mean? Like in life, I try to lead with love and lead, with discipline and authority. But out there, it's like I do have a unique role. People, there's a natural target on your back. Being in that health and safety role. I deal with. I'm the mediator between the higher ups and the workers. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got your upper echelon. Your management, your upper management. You have the worker. Well, I'm in the middle. I'm that mediator.
You don't be pawning shit off on people.
No, I don't be pawning shit off. I assume a lot of liability and responsibility. Yes, on a daily basis. That's why when I pull through those gates, man, it like every morning. It doesn't matter how tired I am, if I stay up, watch Monday Night Football, don't get a lot of sleep, whatever the case may be, no matter how tired I am or how lazy I'm feeling, whatever the case is, every morning when I pull through those gates and those bright lights, and I see hundreds of workers pouring through the gates, I get like a zone mentally. I'm like,
game
all right,
time.
like it's game time. It's ready to go every day. Every day. So
Step into that alter ego-ish mode.
yes,
Yep.
basically.
It's like putting on a football helmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
You put on that helmet, you immediately snap into that mode.
Yeah, you get in the zone mentally, and but
Do you know Mason Fernie by chance?
Mason Fernie,
Yeah, he works over there at Eagles.
I don't.
No?
No,
That's
that
a
hasn't-
good dude, man.
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Is it really?
If you come and pass him, yeah.
Bro.
What's he do out there? What's he involved in?
He's involved in building the do y'all build
Electrician,
helicopters?
pipe weld?
I'm not too sure exactly the specifics. I know he builds stuff.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I got the name program now, so
Yeah,
if I come across him, I'll let him know.
yeah.
For sure.
Tell him I
Dude,
said
he's
Nephew,
a
right?
really
nephew. Yeah.
Nephew, okay.
really good dude, man. Really good dude. He's like you have this guy right here, and as you picked up on earlier, man, he has this kind of energy about him, man. Drake has this infectious energy about him where it's like he can set the tone, and if someone has this superpower, they could use it for good or bad, where they could impact the room
Yeah.
based on their energy. I'm guilty of it. Like if I'm pissed and I want somebody to feel it, I know how to make them feel that kind of pressure. This guy here, man, he's like, but then if I want to, extract like excitement too, like I know what to do to like, boom, all right, bro, let's galvanize the masses because I'm excited. I want everyone else to feel it. And they're like, bro, man, you just do that thing. This guy right here, same kind of thing, but he don't use. You very rarely see him like angry.
Yeah.
It's more like, or if he's ticked off, or if he's has a little tiff about him, he has such a delivery where it's comedic.
Yeah.
Almost. And I've seen this dude here like grow in that way through various of situations, whether it's like him being in competitive situations, his the way that he wants to articulate his love for sports, whether it's through love or if it's through being in managerial positions where he directing others.
Yeah.
Or it's just opinionated. Or it's just opinionated,
Yeah.
But
Well, I feel like you have to be that way if you're a mediator. You have to be that thermostat. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. I appreciate the kind words, Q. I think the older we get, you experience things in life. It sounds cliche, it sounds typical, but you truly, like, we live and we learn, as time goes on. So I think as time goes on, the wisdom grows and you kind of carry yourself with a little more confidence. You're a little bit more confident in what you're speaking on, what you're looking at, and what you're involved in. And but yeah, I try not to sweat the small things. I just try. Life is already complicated. It's hard enough, so
It is.
I just try to remain consistent, not have a bad day, because like we talked about Ingalls. I'm out there at Ingalls, right? The shipyard. Look, it's a big steel yard. It can be a little bit of a depressing place. There's 10,000 people there. It's very diverse. There's the people from all different backgrounds all over the world that work out there. Well, I'm mindful of that. I'm reasonable of that, so I try to take other people's feelings and their judgment, their opinions, whatever, into consideration, when I'm interacting with them about whatever the case may be, like, look, you don't know what this person's going through. So I try to be mindful of that. And it's a tough place out here. We all out here together. We're all on the same team. So,
like, is it the uniqueness of that position? Like, do you feel like you are overly qualified for that due to the background that you got from even as your upbringing? Because your mom and your dad are two different kind of people, man.
they are.
And I can comfortably say that, and I say that with love because I've seen it.
Yes,
so it's like,
firsthand.
so having that, seeing that firsthand, and having that, as like, this is my DNA. Does that make you feel like, yeah, I'm the only one that's for this one? Like, I can do this. Like, I see people that try to do what you talking about as far as mediate, and they would fail because they don't know how to talk to everybody.
Well, I think, yeah, that's true. I mean, being able to communicate, with people of all different positions, all different backgrounds, it's important because sometimes, when you're dealing with upper management, you want to communicate in a way that is not offensive to them, but you can still get some things done, And then on the flip side, you mentioned my parents, Denny and Laura. I think for me, I try to look at it like I took the best qualities of both my parents and incorporated them into my life where I'm at now. I feel like I have the best worlds of both. But being in this unique role, I'll say this. All right, so when you're constantly, for me, when you're constantly dealing with negativity, and problems, and really the main thing that in my role and what I do is I help solve problems and provide solutions. People come to me, Drake, we got this here, this is how we have to do this is how we need to go about it. Yeah. What do you think? What's your opinion? So for me, like when you're constantly dealing with problems and negativity, which I deal with a lot, mentally it'll wear on you a little bit, and so that's why I was saying I use my mental, I use my mind, and I have to exercise my mind on a daily basis,
Critical thinking, man.
Critical thinking, yes, because I'm making life decisions here. I'm making life altering decisions here on how, with certain things that we're involved with. So, that's why it's important to get good rest. That's why we was talking about earlier this morning. Man. I'm not the best of morning person.
I'm right there with you.
Sometimes my self-discipline it lacks. I will stay up and watch the end of the movie with her, or the end of Monday Night Football. Next day I'm dragging. I'm tired, but man, bro. I just try to stay consistent and not have a bad day and be smarter than the scenario that we're dealing with there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, man, you gotta have some bad days though. You gotta have some bad days. But that's what and that's what I love, like with what I'm doing is like you wanna bring, this is what I say, what my overarching role here is to bring humanity to a situation. Because dealing with healthcare could be very numbing. It could be like just
monotonous, boring.
Yes. Yeah. Like just running the mill. You can get stuck in the day-to-day quickly. But you bring like a level of humanity to it and relatability to it and vulnerability. Mm-hmm. I think it could bring life to it and bring a level of like excitement. Not necessarily excitement to like the nth degree where you thinking like, well, you like, but it's like when people see you, they're like, man, all right. Like if anybody's gonna be like, if I'm feeling like shit today, man, Quan gonna break. He gonna try to find a way to create a smile.
Yeah, you make a good point there. You make a good point there.
But even then though, like whenever you do that for them, and they see you a little bit off, it'll make them be like, hey man, what's going on, man? Everything is good, or like you solid. They put in the effort where typically they will be like dependent on you to uplift them, but now when the roles reverse,
they pour into you.
You know what I'm saying? So
you can feed off of that energy. You know what I mean? You can feed off that energy. And I know you bring positive energy. You're very positive, upbeat. I know you love doing what you do. I know you love being a dad, a husband.
Bro.
And that's really what it's all about. But
again, it's not always, you don't have to feel like you always got to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have to do that. Because, like, even if you have bad days, like, man, hey, dude, I have a bad day today.
Yeah.
Or, like, look, I don't feel like talking today.
Yeah.
And even though it may make people uncomfortable because your default is something what they're expecting you to do,
right.
You shouldn't feel bad because you're like, hey, not today.
Yeah.
I'm all right, though. It's okay. That's what I mean by bringing a level of humanity to it.
Yes.
So even if you're not a morning person, you're a consistent person and you appreciate it because you're like, well, he may not be here when we want him to be here, but when he here, and he's ready to roll, he's ready to do his thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like checks and balances, man. It's human. Like I don't chase perfection, we chase progression. Mm-hmm. And if you're chasing perfection, you'll never get it because there's only one person that did it better than everybody else. Yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm. And you don't need no cardinal signs to know where that means. You know? Like it just is what it is. I think as a society, we need to appreciate. I always say like you don't appreciate air till you can't breathe, but just appreciate people trying, people being consistent and being there and being present, opposed to he ain't here right now, or he just I'm open and grow. Like, nah, man. You all right.
I agree with that. Like I tell people all the time, just like in closing conversation, you know, or whatever. I'm like, I tell other people all know, like the lady at the at AT&T, you know, what I mean, the lady, the waitress at Outback, you know, I was like, look, I appreciate your effort. You know, what I mean, you trying. You know, I appreciate your effort. So.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
that's what we need more of. That, bro.
Yeah,
appreciation of effort, man.
Yeah,
because you working with a lot of people, and like you don't know what people going through, and you may say some shit that may like, yeah, bro, I'm about to go crazy because this person don't appreciate like the fact that I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't thinking nothing. You just doing your job, and you like, hey man, say some shit and they go crazy.
So that we on the subject of that, one thing that bothers me is because since we're on this subject, I'll say it. Like for me, like I am that catalyst for change. You know, one thing that I deal with a lot out there is a lot of the old timers. You know, the old guys out there. They, you know, well, Drake, we've been doing it this way for 30 years. You know, we've never had anything. You know, we you know, what do you mean? And I understand. Look, you know, these gentlemen are a lot older than me. They don't want some young guy, you know, telling them how to go about this or how to do their job. But what I try to do is yeah, like I said, be that catalyst for change. But I hit them with the facts, the numbers. You know, this is why we can't do it the way we did it in 1998 anymore, sir. This is why. Here's the numbers. Here's the facts. This is why. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, that's one thing that, because for me, like I said, anything that I'm involved with in life, I want to be the best at it, but I'm very proactive. You know what I mean? So when I'm in an environment that is reactive, it's a lot for me to accept.
Which is society.
Which is society, yeah, because I'm I like to get out in front of things. I like to think out in front. You know, I feel like being in a position like that we're in as young men, young guys, you know, you have to think out in front, especially if you have a family. You know, you got to think about what's coming, what's ahead, or you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle. There.
It's just the reality of things.
Complacency.
Complacency kills. Yeah, I always say cancer get a lot of the love for it, but complacency, man, that's a big killer. But yeah, we've always been, and I've always been very like aware of how reactive we are, because it's like, but what you prioritize too is that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
like your time.
Prioritizing
time.
You know what I mean?
Time
your
management.
time.
That's a big deal. You know what I mean?
It truly is, man. But again, like just being how you are, especially like having your career, you did it in a way that's like, I guess, I don't know if it's a sense of normalcy now, because like back then, I guess, when I say back then, well, yeah, I guess we are like kids that did in the 90s or like the 80s kids now.
Yeah.
So our trajectory was to get your career, then family.
Yeah.
You know, like, but you do that in the 20s. You've got your career here in the 30s, but you've been, you're a familial man. Like your DNA, the way that you go about that is very familial. So how does that wear on you as someone that's like progressing in your career, you know, like here in your early 30s, but you still have that yearn to like be a family man and raise your own and grow and build and all that stuff?
That's a good question, Q. I think
I should have went for Oprah on him. I should have said Drake.
Drake, listen here now.
Yeah.
This is what we, you know, I've learned a lot of patience. I think.
Well, you or women?
Just
or men
in general.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've learned a lot of patience. I mean, I think I don't know. I have a lot of life examples around me of, you know, what not to do. You know what I mean? So taking that in consideration, just taking a step back and looking, I don't know. But I see my friends, I see you, I see, you know, Mikey and Dallas and everybody, you know, Luke, you know, just all my friends, you know, I see them, all my friends, they enjoy being a father. They love being a dad. They're passionate about it. And I like, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing to see. I love to see it. But for me, yeah, I am trying to supplant myself in my career. I was in a long-term relationship. It certainly wasn't my intention to not marry or have children, you know, for when you invest that type of time, financial emotional stability, everything that was provided for her. It certainly wasn't my intention for it to work out that way. But I think, I think as a young guy, my next go around here, and I think about it all the time. I think about a wife, I think about family and kids. Obviously, I have a bunch of sisters. I carry on the last name, so it's important to my people, for me to have a family. I can feel it from them. I can sense it from them. But when I come across a young lady that is on my level, and has some things to offer, the way that I do, maybe I can spend a little time with her and slowly let my guards back down a little bit, and if we're interested in the same type of things, and there's a lot that's involved with it. There's so much involved with it, but I'm definitely I just want to stay on this upward path that I'm on, and focus on my career. And I'll say this, and I'll end it with this. I feel like the best things in life, they kind of come unexpectedly. You know what I mean? So, did you? How you and Katie? Did you?
Boy, did not.
Did you see that one coming from left field, or
did
what?
Not, man. Ray Charles had a bit of you, and I did, brother. It came from out of nowhere, man. It's like you could. I do. If anything, draw me closer to my faith was that, because like whenever you have something that's so authentic and pure, and just genuine,
you have to thank the Lord for that. And
yeah,
you're right.
Because it's like it's a rarity to find like someone that's for you.
Yes.
That could be like your backbone. Because it's like I mean, like he's seen me grow up, man. It's kind of like I didn't. You don't know what you're missing out on because it's never there. Like I never be someone that's like, man, like being driven by money. Right. If you never had it, then you don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? So like seeing love,
pure,
genuine love,
yes.
like not like a mother to their children love. I experienced that. Like my mom loved her kids, man. I've experienced that, but I never experienced like a husband, wife,
unconditional love.
Like just through and through, like never saw it. I was just, man, that shit was just like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to compute that, man. Like I don't know what that is.
Yep.
But to have that one, and you could pray for certain things, like wish on it, and it's been moments like where you wish, man, I wish I had that. I wish and cool, and then you get something closer, and you're like, nah, that ain't it. But then whenever you get it, and you're like, damn, I prayed for something like this, man. You just wanna.
You feel thankful for them blessings.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. I think, if you would have told me like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, like everyone should have that one person, marriage or not. I'm like, nah, we'll be fine. Yeah. I just make sure they out before your mom wake up, man. Like you good, you good, man. If you're feeling a certain way, like I don't know, rub it out, and go to sleep. But
for me, it's like. With marriage, I don't know. It's 2025. It's like some parts. I see a lot of people I'm surrounded by that I'm close to. They're getting divorced and things like that. And you hear, maybe it's overrated a little bit these days. But I disagree. I think it's a sacred thing. I think it's a holy thing. I take it very seriously. I certainly, if I get married, I want to be one and done. But I remember around the time whenever you had met Kate, and you're right about this. I think sometimes. When you meet a partner that has that genuineness about them, that pureness, in a way, you kind of found your identity. You kind of found your purpose. You know what I mean?
I did.
And now, with having kids, it that purpose grew even greater. So.
No, you're probably the first person ever to notice that, because you didn't. A lot of times with my introduction to people, when people notice me, is that it's either through sports or through Neo Life. Drake, on the other hand, he don't know shit about shit whenever it comes to like Neo Life. Like he just like, nah, that's not me. Like I know Quan, I know him, I know Naomi, my mom, I know Donnie, like all my brothers and siblings, and them running around in it. So like he doesn't, the professional, he don't know that. So
I'm just getting a taste of the professional. Cue.
So like whenever he sees me, it's like, oh man, this ain't just he ain't out there doing, fuckery.
Yep.
I guess for a lack of a better term. Like and I've always been driven, but it was like I was driven to not end up with my past or whatnot. Like
You've always moved with
cousins,
purpose. You've always had clear intentions and move with purpose with things that you speak on and things that you act on. You know what I mean?
And sometimes like having that kind of way, and I am sensing this more with you too, where you could be a disruptor where like you're not with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that could be very jarring, or it could come off as rude or abrupt, where you're just like, man, this is his path. And if you're not in alignment with that path, I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I love you.
From a
you
distance.
Go over there.
Distance, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, cool. Whenever we're trying to do our thing and we cool on this here, I'll rock with you, but I'm gonna be back over here by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be over there. You know, so like I think
you just have to recognize that. Some people are better off, just at a distance. You can still love them. You can still, you just have to recognize, look, I'm on this trajectory. I'm on this path. You know what I mean? And I have this goal that I intend to accomplish. These distractions, this over here, you just have to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So,
and discipline in this era, I guess, is like I don't think it's foreign, but I guess sometimes it's misguided. You can have you can be disciplined in an area that's not as I guess effective, or like you could be disciplined on waking up early in the morning to play the video game. And you're like, well, what is that going to do for you? You know what I'm saying? Like let's use that discipline to make sure that we go to work. Make sure that we do these things that's going to progress you, yes, or contribute to society in
yes,
any
your
kind of manner.
Well-being.
Your personal well-being. Yeah. So like going back to what you spoke on about the marital, the importance of that. We're in the. It's a tricky thing because I got out of the game like where it was a level of like most marriages, I guess, that's before mine was all about being subservient to the home and to the male figure, I guess. And I was not of that. I was like, my mom was a very strong woman, so I wanted whoever I was with to exude that kind of energy, right, to be independent, you know what I'm saying, to want a man, but not need a man.
Yes.
And through relationship and growing and stuff like that, I think a lot of times, I don't know if a lot of men are willing to receive a strong woman that's not wanting to be subservient to that, and it could be a rift. Or some people are just afraid of being alone and then they choose marriage. That's why I think like where it's like had been such a fall off or drop off with our group, with our age range, where people like falling out of marriage or getting divorced because they haven't taken the time to really truly know the person, and they may have some
or themselves,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I picked up on, what just seeing is just like a lot of times like the female of the situation wants to like grasp her identity to not just be X and O's wife. Like, I'm my own person. And depending on that man's security levels, he may not, like that, you know? Like, I want you at the house. Like, and if she asks you where you at, you be like, I'm in my skin. I'll be home when I'm home.
Yeah.
I don't think that language is right now, Like,
well,
I don't know. Like, sometimes, like, some people may want that, and then some women, like, I ain't trying to do that shit.
That's why I think, a lot, even I'm bad about it sometimes. Like in my previous relationships, sometimes, you hear it all the time, but it sounds typical and cliche, or corny, but it's not. You know what I mean? Communication is key. Communication, it truly is. Like, you have to have that foundation, with your partner. You have to have that foundation. You have to have this understanding. It's like, look, what is our goals here together as partners? You know what I mean? What are we trying to accomplish here? What are we doing here? So if you have that understanding, if you have that foundation, if you have, compatible goals. You're interested in the same things. I think, and on top of that, you have some sort of co-founding relationship with God. I think that's a very common denominator for a successful relationship. I think all those things intertwined together is a very common denominator for a successful relationship. But you're right. You have a lot of men out here that are controlling. They have this narcissistic mentality, this controlling, like, I want to control the financial aspect of things with her, where she goes, what she wears, and for me, yeah, that's a major level of insecurity, from the man's part, because it's like, look, she don't want another dad. She wants a partner. It's like, bro, we all know guys like that. We all know men like that.
Bro, yes.
And I used to, what? One thing used to trip me out, because I do have a bunch of sisters. One thing that used to trip me out. We're older now, back in the day, but one thing that would be like, we would have friends that are our age that would want to date a girl. 8 to 10 years young. It's like, well, bro, like, what?
Bro, yeah,
I've never really been with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having younger sisters, I've never really been cool with that. It's weird to me.
Yeah, bro. Man. It's, and again, like with Drake, he has such a dynamic personality where we can go anywhere with the conversation. But being there, man, that's one of the things. Is like, I think, like, the failings of a lot of relationships is, like, I like to put it on the man.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like, if you want to continue, like, with a woman, I just always thought of, like, it is a partnership. It's a collaborative effort, that you got to have, and you got to be willing to. And this is one thing that, Kate, that's why, like, you got to have someone that's like whatever, like, man, sometimes, bro, when I'm mad, I'm just like, bro, let me just, like, ride it out and I'll be fine. Like, we'll be good. She's like, nah, we gotta talk. Yeah, give me a minute. She's like, nope, we gotta talk. Yeah. And she'll get that shit out. And it's like, man, it's almost like going to church to me, where it's like, I didn't want to go, but thank God I went. I feel so much better that's gotten off of me, true. Man. So but you gotta have that person that knows you. And just
that can drive you a little bit too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That can
drive you and motivate you,
and sometimes
like
pull your mind out the gutter. You know what I mean. That'll motivate you, pull your mind. You mad or whatever the case. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna find that. We're gonna find that one for Bad Batch.
Hey.
She's out there, man. I'm telling you.
Oh,
the Lord's gonna send a little queen your way. My way too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Drake Juice gonna get him one too, man.
I'm just gonna remain patient.
I here looking for love, baby.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Like you were speaking on, I think patience is key. And there's me approaching 30, I'm the same way, single, like just figuring my own stuff out. But patience is the key. And there's a lot of peer pressure too when you're looking at your friends and people that or went to high school with. They're all married, having kids. It's like, all right, well, am I failing in some kind of way because I don't have that yet?
Society does tell us that.
For sure.
It does. I mean, you look around, you're in your late 20s, everybody's getting married and having kids and things like that. Yeah, society does. But then again, like with me and my life and my past experiences, like Quan spoke on, my parents are polar opposites. Now that I'm older, I realized they loved each other, they married, but they were no good for each other. I think it was more physical than anything else, so, but yeah, what I mean? So experiencing that, growing up with that, I was that kid once, that was, split parents, shit like that. And, I see a lot of people that I'm surrounded by, they're married for a few years, and they truly don't know their partner, their spouse. They've lived with each other for a year or two, and so for me, it makes me super hesitant. I'm like, hey, look, like, I don't want that. I want to be one and done. You got to know. You got to know through and through who the hell you're marrying, because it's like, I'm not trying to sound weird, but it's like, I even watched this show. Have you ever seen Forensic Files? The show Forensic Files?
Nope.
On God, man, I can't tell you how many episodes I've saw, where they've been married for, 15 years, a husband and wife, and the business is failing, the family, and, he's in there sleeping on the couch in there, and, she stages some dagger in his ribs, to collect the life insurance money. It's like, bro, people are crazy, man. You just, it's like episode after episode I see of these husband and wives, I'm just like, yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. People are nuts, man. So you got to know, you got to know you laying your head next to it for sure.
I
every
firmly
night.
believe too that you got to know who you are and yourself are, and you got to have your shit figured out
Yeah.
before going into. Because I think that's, if you don't have that foundation for yourself, if you don't love yourself, how can you expect to love someone else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
I
is
feel
true.
that.
Yeah, man. That's why we preach to my girls, man. Love yourself. Know that you're beautiful confidently. Don't be dependent on the world to tell you what you are.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So real quick, I'm glad you touched on that. So as I'm getting older, you know, one thing I've learned is like you were saying, it is a cruel world. You know, it really is. You know, it's a cruel world out here.
Oh, yeah.
But as I get older, I'm trying to lead more with love, you know what I mean, versus confrontation, or because I am confrontation. I don't shy from the confrontation. I welcome it, you know what I mean? And when I feel wronged, and I like revenge, you know what I mean? It's a sweet feeling. But at the same time, you know, we're getting older, and like you're preaching to your daughters, be mindful, try to lead with love, and less judgment, because it's hard out here. Life is hard. You know,
Boy.
we're all just trying to make it and get where we're going. So,
But hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with sometimes, bro. Sometimes you just gotta let an MF know.
yeah.
You just got to, bro. And I feel like that's healthy, man. Whenever
I don't
you
like taking L's.
Nah,
And
man.
When I feel like you trying to take advantage of me or what I got, I take it personal. I get offended.
yeah,
Quickly.
because it's like you, and not to go on a tangent, but it's like, bro, like no one wakes up with the mindset to distribute harm or contribute to someone's demise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like inherently, like it's like you want to do good, man. And I've said this countless of times. Like it's no one wants to be the villain. Everybody wants to be the hero of that story. You know what I'm saying? And doing something, and being a hero is by doing something heroic. And heroic is good. You have to do something good, you know? So I don't think no one wants to wake up and just do bad. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
just
if you do, you got hatred in your heart.
man,
You got a lot.
hatred
You
in
got a
your
lot of
heart,
hatred in
man.
your heart.
And I think the world does an incredible way of balancing those things out.
Yeah.
You know, just balancing them people out for sure, man. But again, man, Drake, we're gonna pivot. And now I just want to go to like, what's the most interesting thing with you, man, especially with you now, is because we all love sports. You like sports. I don't know if you love it, but you can appreciate it.
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
Me and this guy, we're fanatics, man. We're fanatics about sports, bro. Like me and him could just talk all day about sports and feel like we've been everywhere and I ain't been nowhere, but just have a genuine like just fun, you know, just talking about sports. But me and him, we have a division where why pivot to the left and he pivot to the right, and it all has to do with sport betting.
All right.
Yeah.
Cause, you know, I like wrestling.
Yeah.
I appreciate wrestling, but I don't associate wrestling with my sports. All right, I appreciate it as entertainment.
Got you.
This guy over here like to say the NFL is right there with the WWE, and he says it's all a show.
Hey,
Now
man.
break that down. Like, what?
So
Well-
you're saying that Drake thinks that the NFL is on that entertainment level as far as like just entertainment, or is that, do I have that right?
Like, you know, John Cena's gonna win the game.
Okay, so fix in a
Yeah.
sense.
Fix is the word. Yes.
Scripted. Yeah.
Scripted.
It is a scripted situation, and he's just trying to guess the end of the movie.
You work a system and win some money. Yeah.
Well, I think somewhere around like with the NFL, like with the 1970 merger.
Go ahead.
Or whatever. I think
1960.
it was
three?
it was 1970 merger.
Oh, the NFL?
Yeah, they made
yeah.
it an entertainment business. That's why the National Football League is listed as an entertainment business. But hey, that's a whole conversation that
I want to have.
that's a long conversation. But essentially, yes, I mean it's not just the NFL; it's all of sports. There's a very powerful entity, and in my opinion, way back in the day, I think somehow the mob and got with the federal government and these TV networks with ESPN, NBC, ABC, and they're all in cahoots together. It's a big cult, you know what I mean? Because I can, not now, but I can prove that because they set these lines, with Major League Baseball, the NBA, college football. It's like they're all on a mathematical system, on a pattern, on an algorithm, and it's all scripted. It's just how they do it. It's like it's you're watching the greatest show on earth. There's a lot that I could say that I could elaborate on, but I've seen way too many things. I've seen.
Give me an example.
So, for example,
Don't run from that.
all right. I mean,
you better not.
Well, you see Scott Van Pelt. Bad beats. I think that's what every Sunday night, every Monday night, and this year I've seen more. It's like, all right, answer me this. Green Bay's up by 5, right? They're up by the Green Bay's favored by 6.5
Against who?
against whomever. Against Minnesota, right? Green Bay's favored. Let's just say they're favored by 6, right? Over Minnesota. All the money is stacked on Green Bay. They're up by 5. They're at the 2-yard line. You know what I mean? There's 40 seconds left. The other team's got one timeout. Who is telling Aaron Rodgers all the money is stacked on Green Bay at -6, right? They're up by 5. They're at the 2-yard line with 40 seconds left. Who is making that call to tell Aaron Rodgers to take that knee at the 1, to not punch it in, to make the game go over and to make Green Bay cover? You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot that goes on there,
Yeah.
but it is fixed. It's all fixed. Even college football, college basketball, and I can prove it. Not now, but
So you would go as far as saying every single game is determined and fixed.
yes, these people, Las Vegas or whoever it is, the mob, whoever is, they're a powerful entity. Whoever they are, they have their hand in every game. Every game they have their hand in. Delaware State versus North Carolina State Tech. You know what I mean? It's like they have their hand in every game, and I've seen it. I've witnessed it. They took the integrity out of the games a long time ago, but you got to look at it like this. Like last night's game with Ole Miss and Georgia. So happy to see Ole Miss get that win, by the way. There's millions and millions of dollars at stake placed on this game. Do you honestly think they're going to let this game play out the way it naturally would, with $50 million at stake? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But like one thing I've noticed, because I have an app that I use that shows me where the public money is sitting on each one of these games. And the NFL is a very, very powerful entity, as we know. They basically own a day of the week.
Who play tomorrow? Somebody play tomorrow? Put some shit up there, Batchy. Let's see where his head at.
We got some.
Because this man here is trying to tell me the integrity of the game has been fabricated. It's been a facade. Pseudo.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
I can name
Panthers,
them all.
Buccaneers, Seahawks, 49ers, Colts, Texans, Browns, Bengals, Saints, Falcons. This is all tomorrow?
No, it should just be 2 games tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Let's go.
Carolina.
Panthers,
Division.
Buccaneers, Seahawks, 49ers.
All right, those are important games.
Yes. So Tampa Bay, they haven't covered their last 8 games, obviously. So 8's a number that I play.
And what you mean by covered? We can't assume nothing.
Well, the spread, wherever they set the spread at,
Okay.
which I think is 3. I think it's 3. I think Tampa's favored by 3. They haven't covered 8 games in a row. I normally play like they're a divisional opponent.
So there's some familiarity there.
There's some familiarity there, but they already played once. Carolina got them.
I think so.
Yep.
Carolina did.
I haven't looked at that game yet, but
Yeah.
I do know Tampa Bay has not covered their last 8
It
games.
says 3-point favor over the Carolina Panthers.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Tampa will be the right side in that game, in my opinion. But
On the right side, so you think that
I think they'll cover. I think they'll win the game and cover.
based off the algorithm that they haven't covered in 8 games, you feel like they're due.
Yes. Yep. Normally when you go like 7 non-covers or 7 overs in a row or 8 non-covers, you typically get back-to-back. If you have 8 unders in a row, you'll get a couple. If a team has 8 straight unders in a row, typically you'll get a couple back-to-back overs. But look, it's been years of information and data compiled throughout the years that I've studied.
Would you say you have a good success rate?
I would say, yeah, I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I have, sometimes I get burned, it goes the other way.
Yeah.
But it's all. Let me say this real quick. This is really important.
Get it out there,
This is the last thing I got to say about it. The people who control and set these lines, think about it like this: their biggest tool versus the public, because the public is who they're in competition with. You know what I mean? That's where the money's generated, is the power of perception. What you see one week, you know what I mean? It's the power of perception. They already know. When they set these lines, how the public is going to bet. They already know that's the power of perception. If you see like last week, you know what I mean? If you see Carolina and Tampa play Saturday, if you see Carolina the week before, they're playing Seattle and they play them really, really tough. You know what I mean? And they're on the road. They're in Seattle. Tampa struggles. They barely win the game. The next week, here comes Tampa Bay. On fire. That's their biggest tool, is the power of perception. I don't buy into the perception. I don't if I place a bet, there's a lot of research before I put my money up. You know what I mean? I don't just bet off emotion and say, "Oh, I like the Eagles today. Let me go put 300 on them."
You do your homework.
Yep, there's a lot of information compiled.
Man. So like me, I come at this as just a fan of sports. Which means I'm losing a lot of money. So, but with that, I am very aware that there's been a lot more foot traffic in those casinos than it would have been if sports betting wouldn't have become the entity that it is.
Yeah.
But now there's going to be a law that's coming up here about taxing. So whatever you and this isn't. I don't think this is crazy political. I don't think it's political at all.
No.
No,
I
yeah.
would say no.
So it's like if you was to bet, win or lose, this money's getting taxed now. Is that gonna sway you on how you go about doing this here?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard that. I do know anything. Obviously, like anything over $10,000, is a flag to the IRS. So I mean, there's been a couple times. There's been a few times where.
But nah, yeah,
I've hit for over 10, and
yeah.
But what I did was I would take, I'd have $10,000 worth of tickets or 11 or whatever the case. There's been a few times over the last few years. I wouldn't go cash them out all at once,
Gotcha.
But I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all.
The screen I typed in future sports betting tax law, and AI is generated.
I might have to do my due diligence and read up on
Limited
that.
loss deduction, phantom income, 9% cap.
The Fair Bet Act.
We have a mutual friend that which I won't tell his business. I'll wait till we get off the air. But Q, did you hear? We have a mutual friend. I'll tell you about this. He hit for $77,000.
Oh my God!
Yes, on a damn slot machine. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Wow,
dude. See, that's the crazy thing about me is that both my parents in the early '90s were dealers. Denny and Laura, they were blackjack, craps dealer, whatever. For me, I've never once sat down and played a penny slot. I don't even know how to do it. I'm just, you know what I mean. I don't know how to play blackjack. No card games. None of that.
I didn't know your parents did that. So that was how.
That's how they met.
So that's how your love for numbers.
I wouldn't say numbers. I wouldn't say numbers.
I like patterns. I mean, that's how whenever whenever I do patterns through movement, whenever I'm doing exercises or I'm prescribing and programming and stuff like that, I'm just watching different movement patterns and seeing how that contributes to said sport and how that's working on that.
Yeah, I mean,
but I always just thought that you was just like a numbers guy.
I wouldn't say I'm more of. I wouldn't say numbers guy. I'm more of I enjoy the challenge, of not just with sports betting or with numbers and things. I don't know. If it's something I'm interested in and it's challenging, I like to beat the odds. I'm obsessed with that. I do have an obsessive personality in a lot of ways, but not just with sports betting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I'm,
dog.
Yeah.
He loves fucking Rudy.
Rudy.
Holy moly, man.
I'm rooting for Ole Miss. I'll tell you that much. I mean, they're definitely an underdog with everything that transpired with them. But Yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy the challenge of things, like even like with this, like I said, not just with sports betting, but with different things in life, if we're playing a game of Madden, you know what I mean? If I go set my deer camera up, I got a big buck on there, I'm ready for that challenge, try to get him, try to kill him, just anything in life. But no, I wouldn't say I'm a math guy, I'm more so just
competitive.
Yeah,
I would say you started it off with just being competitive.
Yes, the challenge
for the love of the game. You finding a way to just instill that competitive drive.
Yeah. And that's a big reason why I wish. Looking back, I think for me, I always have that regret in my life of not pursuing the coaching career.
Yeah.
But one thing that comes with the coaching career that I've realized as I got older is that it's a lot like the military. You know what I mean? And I didn't want that. If I have kids in my family, I don't want to have to, because if I did pursue the coaching career, let's just say I would have done that, went to college for it, pursued it. Look, I'm not just settling for Gaucher High School over here. I mean, I want to go to the top with it. I want to go all the way to the top, and it's a lot of picking your family up, moving, taking the next opportunity here in this state, and that's it. It's a lot like the military. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I realized that soon. I realized that early. Honestly, that's what kind of like as I was getting ready to make that decision.
Yes, I know you were faced at some point in time in the past.
I was gonna do, because I know Singleton was pushing for me hard, and Coach Hockaday, Jason Hockaday, was someone that was like very influential. Right whenever I was on that drive, and I'm like, work ethic. I just knew I was gonna crush it with my work ethic, man. As I pick up different things going about it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna learn that. But this just get me in the room, and once I get in the room, I'm gonna win the room.
Yes.
And Coach Singleton was giving me that opportunity to get in the room, and just the more I start learning and picking up on it, it just dawned on me like, well, what if I don't get hired here? I'm going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to be a GA at Troy had happened. And I don't know where Troy, Alabama is, bro. I just knew, I was like, I know the team. I know this player got drafted there, but I was like, dang, I got to leave moms and go way over here, wherever Troy is in Alabama. Man, just pick up and go and hope something works out. And then after that, have to go this place and this place. And I'm like, to the next stop. And I'm like, I don't know. And then
thought about it too.
When Robbie mentioned the opportunity to do this, I'm like, all right, let me figure this out. And once I get in this room, let's see what I can do with this room. And then eventually it just ultimately led to me being where I am now. But it was the same thing where you just like, but also like having that purpose and that drive. Like you right where you need to be. Mm-hmm. I think your purpose, your passion and your purpose, man, once you find that alignment in that one, you're unbeatable. You're unstoppable. Yeah. And and it's not just a paycheck, it's that impact. It's the impact. And I've made more of an impact on people outside of just the confines of a game. I think that's like the competitor of you. Once that fall hit and you smell that grass, you're like, man, I need to be out there. But there's a shelf life to that. Mm-hmm. I think like you're just only confined to that one space. What you do now allows you to impact people from ends on. It's boundless. You're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like with the people that you impact, opposed to just being in this sport. The end of this game is very result based. You focusing on the relationships that allows you to make an impact on people way more than I think it would be if it was just with a football game. Yeah. So I think you made a great decision. To me personally. Yeah. I could be biased, but I'm just saying.
Well, I appreciate that, Q. No, I think you're right. We both in a position where we can make an impact, and with people that we're involved with.
Yeah, man.
Within our career.
Yeah, it's not just young people. It's older people. It's your family. They see how you, because you flawed. Like you've made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You made open mistakes with people hiding. It ain't like you did it in the dark and then you could just, ain't nobody gonna see that. Everybody got skeletons in their closet. but
I
you
was
turned the light on.
Yes, for sure.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, and I noticed that at a young age. I was like, you know what? Because anything that I've ever done wrongdoing, you know what I mean? It's like I've noticed, you know, whether some of our viewers are a believer in God or not, I am a Christian, and I've noticed, like, I've always been exposed. You know this, Q. Any wrongdoings I've ever done, whatever the case may have been, I always got exposed to the highest degree of it, and it was almost like, you know, the Lord telling me, look, it's not my intentions for you to steal or to do wrong things or to do bad things, because you're going to pay for it. You know, that's just some little things that I've noticed throughout life, you know. So for me, it's just staying on that straight and narrow, you know what I mean? It's just doing the right thing, you know what I mean? And I've noticed like, you know, when you are trying to be a better person, when you are doing the right thing and you're making an effort to be a good person and a better person, like, the Lord has his way of silently acknowledging that. You know, things tend to work out in your favor. Things kind of fall into place, you know, just when you're doing the right thing. You know, you're attempting to be a good person. But going back to the coaching thing, I think I've been thinking about it here more and more recently, maybe doing some volunteer ops, you know, something I could get involved with. But because, you know, we, not just with football, but just sports in general, we got the ultimate frisbee, you know, just competing. You know, I'm passionate about competition. You are too,
man. So, and that's what gets my and we'll get ready to wrap it up here. That's what really like made that kind of like I guess put a lid on that want to coach was whenever we start doing the recreational stuff, because it, like, I tapped into a population that I didn't know exist, and tapped into a people that was like, hey man, we appreciate you putting these things together. Like getting one guy called me a shepherd, and I was like, what? And he goes, bro, I'm gonna start calling you the shepherd, bro. Like you bring people together, man.
Yes.
Like you bring people together, and it's like that's a superpower. Not everybody can do that. Like people hold people back from like they're like not invite folks because they're afraid of people saying no. Right. Or not showing
or the
up.
rejection, yes.
They're the rejection, the fear of rejection. But he said, man, how you just do this and you just like come one, come all, and people show up. He said on a Tuesday, bro, you had like 27 people throwing a damn frisbee around. I was like, damn, it was like 27. He said, yeah, man, like that's pretty cool that you can do that. And I wouldn't imagine like if I was still coaching, I'll be tied down because I'm just my relationship with the scoreboard or just the sport in general. I'm too tied into this here to spread my wings and want to impact the community that I'm in, opposed to just being there. Not to say like it's a negative, but it's not. That's not in my alignment. My purpose is not for just that. I felt like I would shorten myself if I would have just stuck to just that, you know?
I think, in my opinion, whatever that you would be involved with, whether you were a coach, now you're a natural leader. You're in a role of leadership. I am too as well.
Informal.
But yeah, formal, professional, a professional leadership role.
That. I like formal. Formal. Formal sounds good.
Formal.
You know, it's been informal, but formal sounds good. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
But
we need a sound. One of them, like a Jamaican horn.
You want one right here?
Man.
You ain't going to hear it, but hold on.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Hey.
Man.
We talking money over here. Cha-ching.
Watch it through, you'll hear that.
Yeah. Well, finish your statement. I do apologize, man.
No, I just think that, and I'm proud. Like I've told you that I'm proud of your accomplishments and your achievements. But with us both being in a role of leadership, you know, we have great intangibles, and you do have a special knack to bringing people together. People are drawn when you have good things going on in your life, and you're positive, you're upbeat, and you got a lot of positive motion going on in your life. People are drawn to that. They want to be a part of it, you know. So I feel like everything that you have going on, you know, here within the community, the impacts that you're making on these young men, these young women, their lives, their athletic goals, you know, academic goals as well. I just think you have all the qualities and intangibles to contribute to their success. I told you, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud
Appreciate it, man.
All your
Appreciate it, man.
achievements.
So, and again, it's not about me.
No,
it's about you. at least for this bit. But for any like parting words, man, what we say, like, what could you, if it was anything you could say to anyone that's like, let's think about early Drake, you know, let's say like 2014, 2016 Drake. If you could talk to that Drake and be like, all right, man, you're going to get here, what would you say to that Drake there? What positive words would you give that person there? Cause this is a person, bro. He missed the Huey. I'm gonna give you time to think while I'm talking about this. So he took me to my first LSU game, dog. First LSU game because he was proud of me, right? I had just passed, and he almost made me fail the damn test. So he's calling me while I'm at JD, and I'm in an exam, right? And my phone is, and the lady's looking at me because it's an exam. It's quiet, and I'm like, oh man, hold on, let me just finish it up, and then it just kept going. And I pick up my phone. I'm like, I think it's my mom. So I lied to the lady, and I run out the office, and I'm like, man. And he's like, Q, we going, baby. We going to the game. I'm like, and I get excited. I'm like, oh, he has to be talking about the Saints or somebody. He was LSU. You remember this game? It was number 9. It was like it ended up being a top 10 matchup. Terrible seating for an opposing fan because we was in the student section. South Carolina.
You know what? We remember that we were sitting right next to Marcus Lattimore. Yeah, his mom and his sister. Yeah, we were sat right next to where the South Carolina players came out the tunnel. We could have threw
there in the dead middle where nothing but South Carolina fans at.
Yes,
but he was like, he called me, bro. And anyway, we get to and I'm nervous. 'Cause I'm like, man, Drake. But like, we get ready to drive there.
Did you think I was bluffing?
I thought it was bluffing, but we drive, but we there now. So like he picks me up, right? And he misses the turn. And he goes, oh, Quan, I missed the turn. And I'm like, well, I don't know no exit, so you just have to keep driving. Buddy gets in the median, bro, and does like this donut. And I'm scared out of my mind, bro. I'm like, bro.
I remember that.
And we get back on track. And then he drives us there. Then we go to Baton Rouge. But he just does it in a damn little Honda.
Oh, yeah, a little Honda.
Man, just right down to me, hit a donut and just get out of there. And
I'm
like,
game to get to. I mean, you know.
Got a game. But that's like the level of like friendship and like just love because it was just like, he knew how much I loved LSU. Bro. Yeah. He knows it, man. And he was like, man, I'm gonna get these. That's cool. Go to this game.
Yeah, I'll never forget that time.
And again, like that impact, that's almost like 15 years ago.
Let me tell you this real quick because it's on subject to this story. So after the game was over, I wanted to walk on the field. I wanted to take the whole. Did we walk on the field? I don't know.
Yeah, I was too nervous to walk on the field, but he was.
Yeah, I think I walked out there because we was wanting to. I think that was my first LSU game too. So I wanted to take in the whole experience, you know. Yeah. And I remember after the game we walked. And all the players were meeting their parents and their families. Well, me and Quan, we were all up in the mix, and we looked through the door, and you could see Steve Spurrier in there giving his little post game press conference. I was wanting to go in the room, you know. I'm like, let's go, come on, let's go in there and get in there. Q was like, he's froze, you know. He's froze. He's like, you know. And a couple of the players, I think we got a signature on the hat.
No, he got Jadavion. So he was just head first into the whole situation. He just jumped in there, man. He got to see Jadavion. You got to see Jadavion Clowney deny this old man.
Yes, but we got a signature. I think it was like Arden Key or somebody.
Yeah, it was Arden Key. Yeah. So like he does that, and then we go to the front of the field. And again, bro, like I just want to take it all in, but I don't want to bother nobody. I'm just happy to be there, man. Don't want to do nothing. Him, no, man. He's like, Quan, you got all this LSU on. Takes my hat, runs up on like a player, bro, and like. You know, and they cool about it, but it's just me. I'm just like I don't want to bother them. Him, nah. Yeah. We here. We about to make this happen.
That was some big boys too, man. We were underneath the stadium, but right there by the that was some big men.
But that's like again, like it's you could, and what I've learned from him is like, bro, you have to if you gonna live. And so when he says and when his dad says, man, you only got one life, you know, do the best. Those are like examples in which he's given to me, and it's just like, man, you know what, man, just go for it. Actually, I thought about him when my wife was like, call Robbie. Because at first I was like, I ain't about to bother that dude, man. Whatever, bro. Like, just almost like a fear of rejection almost. And then when I did, like, Robert was like, I actually been waiting on you to call me to come back to the shop or whatever. And then that's kind of like how it grew. So it's just like being that, you know, that could almost be too much for some people, but just being your authentic self could be just enough that may just like make an impact on some people that may change their whole life.
Yeah.
Because me making that phone call, you get me to that game and seeing like how just fearless he was about all of it. I'm talking like those big old cats, those security guards got the guns on, like got the guns walking around the game. ESPN, this is an ESPN game. Holly's out there just interviewing. His ass jumped the fence, had a little patch of crown on him. Fearless. Just went out there. And they told him, hey, you know, he all right, hop back on the fence. Walks around
key.
like
not defiant, just you know.
Yeah.
Just want to take it all in.
I ask for forgiveness, not for permission kind of thing, man. Goes in there having a press conference. Hey, you can't be over here. All right. We're going to make our way around here, go to the other side, and then go to the LSU side. And the whole time I'm just along for the ride, just like,
Alone, yeah.
man, what's it called, the whole old shit bar? That's what I'm holding on. The whole time I'm with this guy, but then it's like as he's doing it, the more he doing, I'm like, well, we're not dying. I guess I can let go. Yeah. I guess I can live a little bit more. And then like those kind of experiences, and it's a plethora of more that I could list on what this guy has done to me and that how much he means to me. But yeah, dude. Anyway, I just had to put that out, like just how much. Because again, like when you have someone, and everybody has this guy, because you may have, everyone needs a Drake Anthony Lamey in their life. They do, and it's very important that you have that person. Because again, like that person, again, for other people, may be too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just, for others, it may be, hey, that's exactly what I need. Just the right amount of Drake Anthony Lamey in your life that may make you create a whole damn career, create a lane for yourself.
Yep.
Like I've done with this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't thinking about being fearless, I probably wouldn't have picked up the phone, man. Yeah. Probably wouldn't have. You know? And now anything and everything that I do, I approach it with a level of like confidence and fearlessness, because I have a level of sovereign peace within myself, because I've been through the trials, I've been through the fires, I know what it takes. I've done this. Mm-hmm. I've done this enough where I'm like, I'm confident in my ability to do that. But it started with, again, just having some Drake Anthony Lamey, man, in your life, man. And you need them. You need them kind of people. Mm-hmm. So I don't care how you got the tickets and what led up to the tickets, but thank God you got the tickets, brother.
Yes. I knew it would be an experience that you'd never forget. I knew it would be. So I wanted to make it. I wanted to fulfill it. You know, and we'll do it again. We'll do it again. So
with that being said, with that version, that young version of Drake, if you could talk to the mature individual that you are now, not the perfect, just more wiser individual, what would you say?
I would say, you know, going back to what we were just talking about, just everybody needs that person, you know, sometimes that's not scared to take the risk. You know what I mean? And I've never been scared to take that risk. Now, back then, maybe I was, you know, but I'll say, what could I say to myself back then? I would say, you know, having good parents, good parental guidance, you know, at a young age, you know, having a dad saying, look, I made all these mistakes. This is the way you need to go about things. This is how you need to do it. This is maybe, you know, I would say for young people, you know, at 21, 22, 23, 18, 19, whatever, they tend to have like, obviously, you know, the maturity level is not there yet. You know, there's things that we need to go through and experience as young people to become wiser. But I would say back then I had like a mental block, you know what I mean? Where I wasn't mature enough to think out in front, you know, to think about what was coming. You know, even though I had great parents saying, look, this is how you need to go about things. Maybe this is the direction you need to take. You know, there's still that mental block there. So there were still things that I had to experience hard-headedly that I had to go through. There was mistakes that I had to make, things that I had to do to recognize as an individual to say, okay, you know, this isn't what I want for me in my life, you know. So, yeah, along the way there was changes that had to be recognized, and you have to be able to learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? People, and a lot of young people, they have a fear of failure. You know what I mean? Not just young people, but people in general. People are scared of change. They don't like change. You know what I mean? So they have a fear of rejection. They have a fear of failure. And as I've gotten older, that fear of that failure has faded. You know what I mean? I don't really care so much what people think about me. I care about my reputation, you know, personally and professionally. But, you know, if you don't like what I'm doing, if you don't like me or whatever the case, then get in line. You know what I mean? I'm not, it is what it is. But, yeah, I would say I wish I would have listened to my parents a little more back then, you know, and maybe I'd be in a little bit better position than what I am now, you know, but not saying I'm in a bad position, just because I have worked really hard to turn things around, to get my credit where it needs, just everything in life, you know, to put myself in a position to win. I wish I'd have done that a little sooner.
Yeah.
You know, in my early 20s.
There we go, man.
So, and I do, like I said, I always have that regret. I wish I would have pursued the coaching career and did it.
Hey,
but,
you may do it.
you know.
You may do it. You may do it, man.
Yeah.
So look, man, we're gonna put a wraps on that. Bring it on in, brother.
Bring it on in. Hey, I'm glad you had me.
Appreciate you, Drake.
Yes,
Yes,
for
indeed,
sure.
man.
Good, man.
Well, y'all, this has been the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for coming this time. Hopefully we catch you next time, but please do not let it be your last time, all right? And we're out.